Ever wondered if that girl who always seems to be around might be secretly into you? Sometimes the signs are subtle, hidden in passing glances, small actions, or casual conversations. Whether you're curious about a friend, coworker, or someone you see regularly, here are 5 signs that she might have a secret crush on you. Number 1, she tries to look her best around you. When it comes to deciphering whether a woman has a secret crush, subtle cues often speak louder than words. One of the most telling signs is the effort she puts into her appearance when you're around. If you've started noticing that she looks particularly polished or put together every time you meet, it might not be a coincidence. It could be her way of showing interest without directly saying it. She might start dressing a little differently when she knows there's a chance she'll see you. Maybe her outfits seem a bit more thoughtful or stylish than usual, or perhaps she experiments with new hairstyles or accessories. While it's natural for anyone to care about how they present themselves, consistent changes that happen specifically when you're around can suggest something more. Also, if she wasn't particularly focused on fashion or grooming before, but suddenly takes an interest in these things when you're in the picture, it might be worth paying attention to. Additionally, how she behaves in those moments can offer more clues. If she's checking her reflection in windows, touching up her makeup, adjusting her clothes, or smoothing her hair when you're nearby, it could be her subconscious way of making sure she's presenting her best self to you. These small gestures might seem insignificant on the surface, but they often come from a place of wanting to be noticed and liked. Furthermore, this effort isn't always about flashy fashion or dramatic changes. Sometimes it's in the finer details: freshly painted nails, a spritz of a favorite perfume, or clothes that complement her features in just the right way. These thoughtful touches may be her way of signaling interest, hoping you'll take notice, even if she doesn't say anything out loud. It's important to recognize that everyone expresses attraction differently, but when a woman takes extra care with her appearance around someone specific, it often reflects an underlying desire to impress or be noticed. While these efforts could simply be part of a broader sense of confidence or self-care, when paired with other signs like nervous laughter, extended eye contact, or playful teasing, the message becomes clearer. So the next time she walks into the room looking just a little more radiant than usual, consider that it might not be by chance. It could very well be her quiet way of telling you she's interested without saying a single word. Number 2, she finds reasons to be around you. When someone has feelings they're not ready to express openly, those feelings often show up in subtle behaviors. One of the clearest yet quietest indicators that a woman may secretly like you is her effort to be near you, even when there doesn't seem to be an obvious reason. The key isn't in grand gestures, but in the patterns of presence that start to form. She's just there, often consistently and seemingly by chance. It might begin with casual run-ins. Maybe she's suddenly attending the same events you frequent, or perhaps she signs up for the same class or hobby group. At first it can seem coincidental, but if you start noticing her popping up in places where she knows you'll be, especially when those places weren't part of her usual routine, it could be a subtle sign of her interest. Her goal may not be to declare her feelings directly, but simply to share space with you, to be in your orbit. Also consider how she manages her time. If you both work or study in the same place, she may align her schedule with yours in small but meaningful ways. You might find she often takes her break when you do, or she shows up at the same coffee shop around the same time you're usually there. These choices can seem small on the surface, yet they reveal a deeper intention, one that centers around proximity. Additionally, when she's near, notice how she behaves. There's often an air of attentiveness. She may glance your way, linger in conversations just a little longer than necessary, or find light-hearted reasons to engage you, like commenting on something she noticed or asking a question that easily could have waited. These aren't random interactions. They're ways to keep a thread of connection alive without making it obvious that it matters to her. Furthermore, her presence might extend into your social spaces. If she's starting to form closer connections with your friends, joins group outings she didn't previously attend, or suddenly becomes more involved in the communities you're part of, she may be finding ways to be part of your world. Often when someone is drawn to you, they naturally want to know more about the things and people you care about. Being around you in shared environments gives her a chance to do that and to see how you respond. Ultimately, finding reasons to be near someone is one of the most natural ways a person can express admiration, curiosity, and emotional pull without putting their heart completely on the line. It's not always loud and it rarely announces itself. But if you pay attention to who seems to appear again and again in your world, often when there's no clear reason why, you might start to recognize that there's something unspoken in the air. She may not have told you how she feels, but her actions are quietly starting the conversation. Number 3, her friends act differently around you. When trying to figure out if a woman secretly harbors feelings for you, it's often tempting to focus solely on her behavior. However, sometimes the most revealing clues come from those around her. In particular, the way her friends act when you're near can be incredibly telling. These subtle or not so subtle changes in their demeanor can signal that something more may be going on beneath the surface. One of the most common signs lies in the way her friends respond to your presence. You might notice that whenever you show up, there's a sudden burst of energy or excitement among her group. They might exchange knowing glances, start giggling, or whisper to each other as if they're in on a secret. These little reactions, while seemingly innocent, often point to something more than mere coincidence. Also, if her friends consistently seem more animated or amused when you're around, it's worth wondering why. This kind of collective behavior doesn't usually happen without a reason, and that reason might very well be you. Additionally, teasing can be another giveaway. Her friends might make playful comments or jokes at her expense, especially when you're within earshot. If you hear something like, "Look who just walked in," accompanied by nudges or exaggerated winks, they might be nudging her in more ways than one. This kind of behavior suggests that they're not only aware of her feelings, but are also subtly trying to draw your attention to them. It's their way of giving her a little push, or maybe even trying to help her out without directly saying anything. Furthermore, her friends might suddenly take a noticeable interest in your life. Questions about your weekend plans, who you're dating, or even casual remarks about your personality can seem harmless on the surface, but when those questions come up frequently and always in her presence, they might be trying to gauge your availability, or better yet, trying to figure out if there's any hope for their friend. This type of curiosity often goes beyond standard friendliness and becomes a way for them to gather information that might help her decide whether to make a move. Also worth paying attention to is how the dynamic shifts when she's not around. If her friends are still unusually warm, curious, or teasing when she isn't in the room, it could be a sign that they're acting as her stand-ins, keeping tabs on how you respond, or continuing the playful tension. Their behavior might feel like an extension of her interest, a coordinated if unspoken effort to bridge the gap between you two. In many cases, a woman who has a crush may be too shy or cautious to make her feelings obvious, but her friends, they might not be quite as discreet, whether they're trying to help her confess, encouraging her to act on her feelings, or simply enjoying the thrill of being in on a secret. Their behavior can serve as a valuable indicator. So if you find yourself surrounded by playful giggles, curious questions, or a sudden uptick in attention from her circle, it's not just in your head. They may be revealing what she's too nervous to say out loud. Number 4, she teases you playfully when trying to figure out if a woman has a secret crush on you. It's easy to overlook the subtle signals that might be hiding in plain sight. One of the most overlooked yet incredibly telling signs is the way she teases you. Playful teasing can often be more than just casual banter. It can be a form of flirtation, a window into deeper feelings she might not be ready to openly admit. Playful teasing is a timeless form of interaction rooted in comfort and mutual connection. If she frequently jokes around with you, pokes fun in a way that feels warm rather than harsh, or gives you a hard time with a smile on her face, it could be her way of expressing affection without crossing any obvious lines. This kind of teasing shows she feels safe enough around you to let her guard down, which is often a strong indicator of underlying interest. Also, the nature of the teasing can speak volumes. When she references little things only the two of you understand, like an inside joke or a shared memory, it signals that you're someone special in her life. These private jokes can create a bubble of intimacy, subtly setting you apart from others in her world. It's her way of saying, we have something unique, even if she never says it out loud. Additionally, playful teasing is often used to gauge your reactions. She might be curious to see how you respond. Do you laugh along, tease her back, or look flustered? Your reaction helps her test the waters. If you engage with her in the same light-hearted tone, it gives her a kind of green light to keep the playful energy going. It becomes a game one that's charged with a hint of flirtation and curiosity. Furthermore, the consistency of her teasing can reveal a lot. If she goes out of her way to find reasons to joke with you, especially in group settings, it could mean she's looking for a way to stand out in your eyes. She may be using humor to build a connection and to leave a lasting impression, hoping you'll remember the way she made you laugh or how you could never quite win the banter. While teasing on its own isn't always a definitive sign of a crush, when it's consistent, personal, and delivered with a twinkle in her eye, it might be her way of saying she likes you, just not in so many words. So the next time she gives you a hard time with that playful smirk, pay attention. There could be a whole lot more behind those laughs than you realize. Number 5, she gets jealous suddenly. When trying to decipher whether a woman harbors secret feelings for you, the signs may not always be overt. In fact, one of the most telling yet easily overlooked indicators is subtle jealousy. This kind of jealousy doesn't come with dramatic outbursts or overt possessiveness. Instead, it hides in small reactions, quiet shifts in mood, and the faintest hints of discomfort. If you're paying attention, you might notice that she becomes just a bit uneasy when you talk about other women. Perhaps she suddenly grows quieter when you casually mention spending time with a female friend, or when another woman compliments you in her presence. Her silence in those moments isn't always about disinterest. In many cases, it's a defense mechanism, a way of managing feelings she hasn't fully admitted to herself, let alone to you. Also, her demeanor might change in subtle but noticeable ways. For example, a woman with a secret crush may respond with a sarcastic remark when you mention another girl. While it might seem like harmless teasing, it can actually be a reflection of inner frustration or jealousy. That slight roll of her eyes, the playful jab, or a quick dismissive comment could all be ways of coping with emotions she's trying to conceal. Additionally, body language can offer further clues. She may cross her arms, look away, or suddenly seem disinterested, not because she doesn't care, but because she cares too much. These gestures often occur unconsciously and are a natural response to feelings of jealousy, even when she's trying hard to play it cool. Furthermore, if someone else flirts with you in front of her and she withdraws or changes the subject quickly, it could indicate that she's feeling threatened. While she might not voice her discomfort, her energy often speaks louder than words. You may sense a difference in her tone or see her go unusually quiet. These are signs that your interactions with others matter to her more than she's willing to let on. In the end, subtle jealousy is a complex emotion, both of vulnerability and a form of unspoken affection. It reveals itself not in declarations of love, but in quiet, almost invisible ways. If you're wondering whether a woman secretly likes you, pay attention to how she reacts when other women enter the conversation. Her subtle jealousy could be the truth peeking through her silence. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for future videos.